Buonasera a tutti. Buonasera, Steve. I see you're enjoying yourself there on the keyboard chat, the comments.
Putting fire in the chat. Fire in the
Fire in the
chat.
chat. So might as well let's get this done, shall we? Here we go.
Party.
You are listening to the Milan Weekly Podcast, the English voice of Radio Rossonera and Milan fans all over the world.
Rafael Leao produces a moment of utter magic.
Che sì, ed è gol!
Teo Hernandez al gol! Teo Hernandez, ancora lui, una meraviglia! Ibrahimovic! Zlatan Ibrahimovic, fuori classe assoluto.
Cari amici sportivi, welcome you to another edition of the Milan Weekly Podcast, episode 210, Stevie P. Here we talk everything Milan, racking up those points, Milan, and do we have what it takes to get into this Champions League group stage, Milan? And when we're not professional,
Nor do we pretend to be.
Stevie P, Vinny T, faithfully here every Monday night, 9 p.m. Stevie, we didn't get to talk since the last game. On a nice little group therapy chat. And thank you to three new Patreons. I'm going to get some housekeeping stuff. Thank you to Mark, to Vincenz. We're gonna call him Vinny, Vince, Vincenz. And we have Kim from Australia. Thank you, guys. And don't worry, Tommy was actually good this time. I didn't have to touch the mute button. So we'll see each other on the next therapy. But thank you for number 40, 49, 50, and 51, Steve.
Thank you.
And Steve, on housekeeping stuff, do we have anything? Because we have lots of things to talk about. Anything off your mind, or let's just get straight into it?
Let's get straight into it.
Actually, Steve, we forgot. Presidente. I almost forgot. So this would have been some housekeeping stuff, and we're gonna get into. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna share it soon. Steve, we didn't talk before Venezia. Before we get into the Spezia game, were you able to watch from beginning to end? How did you feel about the starting lineup and throughout the game, especially the first half? What were you feeling?
Look, I watched both games, and for me, the 3 points is what's most important. I don't want to start nitpicking. He did rotate a bit. I think we made things much more complicated than they were supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually, for me, the main focus was Tuesday and Champions League. I know that I don't like to skip and go over these games, but I think Milan had the quality, and they showed that they had the quality to beat both Venezia and Spezia. But again, didn't convince me very much.
Did you feel like especially in the first half, like I felt, okay, here we go again, but not to the extent I felt in the last couple of years where, when you see these games, okay, we're going to end up losing this game. And it just felt like we kept on giving and giving and giving. It just like we never, gave up. But I know in the first half it wasn't that great, but in the end, they came out with the 3 points. And that was the most important, right?
Yeah, they're playing a lot of soccer now. So these games here are very important to get 3 points and not, and not drop points, not lose ground in this race, right? We have we'll talk about it later. We have Napoli; they still haven't lost. Inter, tough game, tough couple of games. They had the Fiorentina game, which was not easy for them.
Nobody could complain about Serie A, Steve, because it's been exciting. Many goals.
This was a great weekend for Serie A for sure.
Stevie P, we're gonna get into Saturday's game. I just wanted to begin by sharing. President brought this to our attention. Omar's. Let me get rid of these. Look at this. Hold on a second. Where do I take this off? Look at this. We're talking about generational players. This great cartoon. You had the privilege of interviewing him maybe a couple of months ago, but great little caricature representing what happened on Saturday, making history. But Let me ask you that, Steve, because I'm going to go flip over to the next thing. What were your thoughts seeing Maldini starting the game?
To be very honest, I was indifferent. I was okay with it.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Again, I'm very straightforward and honest, as you know.
Hmm.
For me, he hasn't done enough to merit a starting position, even in a rotation team. And I know he's 19 years old. I get that there could be some talent there, but if you look at it and you take off your Milan hat and you look at it as an outsider, you're saying, what really has he done to get a
And,
starting
and
position?
that was exactly one of the conversations we had. And David, I believe, asked if he wasn't his son, was he in this team? And everybody kind of said, no, I don't think so. And my only argument, we haven't seen enough. And I'm very happy for what has happened on Saturday. But please, guys, let's not overdo the situation. He's still 19 years old. We haven't seen anything. It's great that he scored first time in Serie A, three generations get to score a goal. But are you on the fact, Steve? We haven't seen enough, or for you, he's not, roba de Serie A?
I don't know if he's Roba de Serie A. I just haven't seen enough. And when I have seen Maldini play, it hasn't been enough to convince me that he can get a starting role. Uh, Look, I know people are gonna say, well, they had no choice to keep him. They need him for Champions League
Hmm.
because you have to have at least three players on your roster that come from your academy or your the Primavera. I get it, but there has to be, like, I get it. If I put myself in Paolo Maldini's shoes and my son is good enough to be on this team, yeah, I would want him to stick around and be with the guys and get, and I'm all for that. But to start, like, I think we're missing a bit of the plot here because we let go of Colombo and we made him go on loan. Uh, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's a loan.
Yeah, it is a long.
Back
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Serie B, it's going to be the second year in a row. And now you never really had a replacement for Diaz. You're telling me the replacement is Daniele Maldini? Like,
Well,
I'm not
Colombo is a
believing that.
striker, is he not? Colombo is a
I
striker.
understand, but
Yeah.
you didn't have a replacement for Diaz. It can't be you kept Daniele Maldini because he's your replacement for Diaz.
No, but in the end, I'm still gonna go with. I'm happy that it happened, but I'm not gonna over exaggerate the situation. I haven't seen enough from Maldini to make a judgment whether he has scored this game here. But happy, and seeing Paulo's celebration out really warmed my heart there. But Stevie P, seeing Giroud back, right, Rebic back onto the left. Sausage Maker starting, Kessi, Tomori, Tiro Magnoli, Tomori, and Kalulu. For you, how did they fare? Maybe the first half, it was another one that, I don't know, Steve, it just seemed like they were just parking the bus and were trying and trying and trying and trying, but it kind of felt that it was coming. They're not?
Yeah, it was a bit different than the past years for sure. A lot of teams, the book is out. If you park the bus against Milan, they will have trouble breaking you down in the final third because we just make too many mistakes in the final third. So this game here, look, again, it's tough to say now that they won. Watching the game, was I worried? Well, look, we worried in the past, but I think now I'm I'm doing a better job of watching the games more relaxed because we accomplished that Champions League. I really wanted to get back to Champions League, and I think that they're getting the job done. And winning ugly is part of the travel that you need to take on to win something in Serie A.
And it comes down to, we'll always call a spade a spade. And I see what you're saying is that, to me, this is only in my opinion, Sausage Maker, other than his great pass, I'm sorry, guys, a lot of lost balls in the first half. Like To me, maybe I'm a bit disappointed because of the glimpse that I saw from him on the last game. But sometimes, like you're saying, we're more relaxed. We got the win. We might not nitpick at these little things, but we've been nitpicking, Steve. We've been negative for the last 8 years. So it's like Kalulu. Kalulu had a fantastic game, but it was a couple of defensive plays there that I'm starting to jot them down because, like you're saying, sometimes the joy or being happy hides these little things that when you go through that dip, and guys, the dip will come. It comes every single year for every single team. These are the kind of things that might hurt you in the end.
Yeah.
Is a bad to nitpick?
We have no choice. You want again. I don't know what people want anymore. I'm confused with society and what they want. You don't nitpick and they complain. You nitpick and they complain.
Okay, do you agree with my nitpicking about sausage maker? I want to talk about Tio throwing himself there, but Kalulu and sausage maker. Kalulu had a lot less mistakes, but am I saying anything wrong out of the order? I still love these guys.
Look, they're good, but you have to look and face the quality that we've been playing against. Venezia and Spezia, they're not the Spezia of last year. And this Venezia and Spezia, I find the bottom teams this year in Serie A are uncharacteristically really weak. Really weak.
But they beat Juventus.
Yeah, but it doesn't really.
Venezia's weak.
Really
You're right.
anything.
Venezia, Salernitana is like, are they even going to win a game the season? No,
it's going to be tough, right? And they made it through Serie B, but there's not enough financial backing for them to try to get stronger and to try to compete. So, am I going to nitpick in games like this? They're going to be ugly. They're not, but these are games where Napoli will take advantage and beat them 6-1. An Inter will take advantage and beat them 4-0 or 3-0, and they pad their goal differential. So is it padding in the end? Yeah, it's kind of padding, but in the end, the real thing that everybody needs to look out for is the continuation and the continuity of winning and getting 3 points. You just have to collect 3 points. So that we're going to nitpick here and everybody's going to complain, it's not worth it.
No, exactly. But I will, to me, nitpicking is not being negative. And, a lot of people perceived you as being negative the first show about Tonali, and some people understood you. And the Tonali that you saw in the first game is not the same Tonali that you've seen in the last couple of games. So
oh my God.
For anybody that trashed on Stevie P, go rewatch those games.
Everybody, no one wants to talk to me anymore. No one wants to write.
You want me to take over Twitter?
No. I go back to the people that wrote to me and I asked them that question, and no one wants to answer. No one wants to answer. I get the traditional, you're a clown.
Oh yeah, great. Of course, yes.
So basically, you're still not convinced. And again, I'm not afraid to be wrong. I say things because I'm not afraid to be wrong. But when I'm right, I'm right.
And, I'm going to talk about, in same principle, I know we're going to talk about it because it can come up to a question, but whoever he's criticized, right, go look back at when he criticized, go look back now. There is a difference. Steve, Padre Pioli was not known for his substitutions last year. We've criticized many of them. The last couple of games, Steve, have these been fantastic subs? In the last game we had Leao coming in for Rebic. Rebic was not having a great game. Rebic, I think, Steve, you have to play him out of position. If you put him in this position, he gets confused. He doesn't know what he's doing. But Pellegrini came on for Giroud. Again, Giroud, not very involved in the game, just came back from that injury. And then you had, Benacer for Maldini, Calabria for Kalulu, and in the 82nd minute, scoring 4 minutes later, Diaz for Kessie. Fantastic sub, Steve, are they not?
Yeah, he's been doing a good job there, managing the team.
Last game, it was what, Tio and Diaz. So as soon as he put them on against Venezia, the game changed completely.
Yeah, I think he'd rather not want to make those subs because they're not starting because we wanted to rest them. But it just tells you how important Serie A is and how we need to be able to keep track of the top four. We need to always have that in the grasp, always in there or having the chance to attack the top four. It's tough because a lot of teams don't have, either, let's say like a Napoli will not do a huge rotation. You have Inter. They're going to have to do a huge rotation when they play Champions League and so on. We have Juve that they have so many injuries right now. It cannot get any worse for Juve. The rotation right now is pretty much who can we put in which slot. Milan has had tons of injuries. But against Venezia and against Spezia, we had this chance to rotate some players in. Look, it didn't work out perfectly, but they got some rest, and I think for tomorrow's game they should be well rested. So in the end, that's all you could ask for from Pioli is basically manage the players, manage their minutes, and feel the game. And I think he's not only starting, he's continuing from last year of not only feeling the game at the beginning of the match, but starting to feel what's happening during the match of when he needs to insert someone to get a result.
Might as well get it done now, Steve. Our tops and flops of the game for Milan Post. Did you think of any? Let's go with your flop of the game.
Theo Hernandez.
Yeah,
and it's not for the flop.
No, he didn't play well.
It's just again, it's too inconsistent now. It's getting to a point where it's starting to get a bit frustrating, and the theatrics and I get he's getting to a point where the refs understand his hustle and understand what he puts into his runs and how a foul can really, really injure him because of the speed that he's going at and what he's doing. So he's getting those calls. But if he continues to flop at every single piece of contact, he will lose that edge and he will lose the playmaking ability that he has.
And that's why I didn't point the finger at Zaniolo. We're going to talk about that one there because diving is part of the game, and we've seen it, at least us Milanistas, not only us, Steve. A lot of us pointing the finger and say just stop with this crap. And I was gonna go with Rebic because he just seemed a little invisible, but I think I'm still gonna go with Tio because Rebic, I'm going by what I've seen from him for the last couple of games, but no, Tio definitely a flop for both of us. How about your tops, Steve?
That was hard. I'm gonna give it to Diaz.
Okay.
Because coming off the bench in a game where he probably didn't think he really had to play, he's just clinical, and he's just coming in at the right time and making the right impact on a team where we lost our number 10. Can you see me? Number 10.
Yes.
Number 10. And he had to step in, and he said, yes, I want that number 10 jersey. And he's playing like it, and does he rank in the top of the past number 10s before we start to give it to anybody? Kashui Honda? No. But not yet. But he's young, and he's doing some great stuff off the ball, on the ball. He's getting his players, he's getting his team involved, and he's getting into spaces where our old number 10 would not go, right? His goal there, he's really picking up the garbage there.
Yeah, he is, definitely. So, no, that's a great pick, even for the amount of minutes. I want to give a honorable mention to Romagnoli. With all the stuff, the captaincy, the discussion during the summer, and now these rumors of salaries, and the guy shuts his mouth, does his job. He's been now, what is it now? 2 games, for Qajar, doing his job, Steve, and just playing to the level. I just see him more. I don't know. I see him loose, so I wanted to give him an honorable mention to Romagnoli. And for me, Steve, it's gonna have to go to Leao. It just, I don't know what he's giving out. It just seems that he's a different player than what we saw last year. I think he took 5 or 6 shots towards goal, opened up the game. I know it's just his body language again. So for me, Leao would have to be the man of the match. What did you think about Leao? Actually, you know what? We're gonna go through the questions. We're gonna answer it then. Stevie P. Let's go to Serie A, right? Because we love our Serie A. Unless you don't want to add anything on closing and maybe thinking about the next game. How are you feeling for tomorrow?
they need to. It's the first game of Champions League in almost 7 years, 8 years almost. This needs to be a performance, though.
Yeah.
This needs to be a spectacle. They're not playing a very easy team.
No, they're not.
Atletico Madrid is as much as a Serie A team as they are a La Liga team. They're actually more of a Serie A team than a La Liga team. Very hard to break down, very well coached, and it's going to be tough. But they need a result. They need to protect the home pitch tomorrow, and
Keep
just
this
get
group
back
wide
into the
open.
group. Exactly, just
Yeah.
get back into the group. And again, that's all. My expectations of Champions League is fight till the end. Get these guys experience to what it is to play 3 times a week and playing in the Champions League. Everybody can make fun of us if they want. If we don't make the group, I don't care. The
Show
thing
us
for
some
them
heart.
is
Yeah.
there's so many young players are getting so much experience, and they're gonna learn how to lose before they learn how to win. And we move on from there. And you see where we needed to do more. You saw against Liverpool, we didn't really start well. And it's important at home that we start well, because they're gonna take the same game approach that we had when
Yeah.
we wanted to have when we went to Anfield. Is basically manage the first 15 minutes. The crowd's
Hopefully
gonna be
tomorrow
crazy, and then the game is just basically another regular game.
you're able to watch Stevie. Half
I'm
work,
gonna be
half.
watching at home.
All right, so taking over for the results of the week today, Venezia 1-1 stalemate. I'm sure, Steve, you watched every 90 minutes of this game.
No, they're not. But Torino, again, they look good. Now they dropped some points, and Venezia picked up a point. We just spoke about Venezia,
Yeah.
right? So they're tying Torino now.
And Torino, I
Again,
believe, had a red card, but I think that tied it up right before, from what I'd seen. But yeah, Venezia, these little points that they get here and they get there, for them, it's going to make a difference from La Salvezza and this thing. But I don't think. I think probably, like you were saying, these teams are going to see Serie B next year. Napoli, Cagliari, Steve, with Maurizio Sarri with the eagle. He was celebrating.
no, but you're getting mixed up
Oh,
because
sorry.
that's
What am I
Napoli
saying?
Cagliari.
Napoli, Cagliari. Sorry. Are they for
Napoli
real?
keeps on scoring.
Are they
Yeah.
for real? Yeah.
I think that they're for real. They're putting up a lot of goals, and I think Oshiman looks good. I
Yes, he does.
think Koulibaly looks good. I think also I'm gonna mispronounce his name, Ashawashawusha, number 99 there. He looks good too. I think they look really good. I think they're gonna have the same problem as Milan though. They're gonna go a month without pretty much their best players because they're leaving to the African Nations Cup.
So we'll see where the depth plays, right, in those teams. But Napoli, it's the only thing I'll say, Steve, is that we've seen this all before, right? These start of the season when they're on fire. But you're saying maybe these key players are going to make a difference. Spalletti, doesn't he have that record, Steve, that he always starts off so strong? Didn't he do those 8-9 wins in a row with Inter that year, and then they just completely crumbled after that?
Yeah,
Who knows?
he lost the locker room was lost because of Wanda and all those
Yeah.
tiki tack episodes that were there. But watching Napoli, they're a bit different though. They don't have a lot of pressure on them. They're winning games and they're winning them. They're either
Convincingly.
squeaking them out ugly or convincingly. And the same thing like Milan, right? We're not going to start nitpicking them. Their goal is to collect points. And again, their goal now, which is different from the one of Milan, is get back into Champions League.
And
Milan is to stay.
I really like, I'm going to take your words from last week where, I think I had said something, against Venezia, against Spezia, we could afford to lose points because of the gap. And you were like, no, this is the time when you just gather those points and I really like the way you put it because, yeah, this is not the time to go, I could afford. This is the time that we're on a high, we're gelling. Let's just get as many points as possible. And these are, at least we're able to get those 6 points.
Vinny, it's inevitable that they're gonna drop points. Napoli, they're gonna tie, they're gonna get a loss. It's just again managing those losses and not making the slide too long. That's all it is. It's not
what it
more
comes down to.
complicated than that.
Empoli, Bologna, Steve, 6-goal thrill on this one. Surprised, I thought Bologna come up with a couple of good performances, and then just go lose to Empoli 4-2. I don't know if you're able to catch any of this one.
No, Empoli, I didn't have a chance to watch it there. I'm just concerned of Bologna. The Sabatini's gone, so he's gone from Bologna. Is Mihailovic next? I think it's only a matter of time. They're just conceding too many goals. I know against Inter, 6-4 against Empoli. This is getting very interesting for Mr. Saputo, both at Bologna and both for Snowflake team. CF Montreal.
For anybody that doesn't know, yes, the CF Montreal, the MLS Montreal team, is owned by the same guy that owns Bologna, Mr. Joey Saputo. So where you get your cheese in Canada, that's what he owns. Steve, il derby di Roma, il derby della Capitale. I watched this one. I'm sure you watched this one here. And I would just like to ask Mourinho one question, saying, where do these referees get it wrong? Other than, like, Roma saying that they got gypped. Mourinho is Mourinho, but what did you think about this game?
I think it was probably the best game of the season.
It was entertaining.
Very entertaining. Exactly what Serie A needed. But it was back and forth. I was a little bit concerned with Roma once they got down very early 2-0, but they fought back. And
did you find it that much up and down, Steve? I found that Lazio really, really missed a lot of chances where they could have closed this game a long time. To me, to let Roma come back into the game. You felt like they were equal?
I think they were equal because Pepe Reina, I have him as my Fantacalcio keeper. He did let in 2 goals. He did get the win. But our Fantacalcio league doesn't reward saves, and if it does, I don't see them on the score sheet. But he really made some key saves, and I think I found the Zaniolo penalty shot was a bit weak.
A bit, Steve. He didn't touch him. Steve.
Anyways,
okay, Zaniolo.
I can't understand how VAR can't see that. So I don't even want to discredit it because I'm trying not to be negative towards the league because it was a really good weekend for the league.
But it doesn't make any sense how it doesn't get reviewed. Forget that. I don't think Roma was going to win this game anyway, and they still got the penalty. But Zaniolo, still young. This happens to everybody. Okay, he looked awful. But then his lewd gesture at the Lazio fans. And some people are like, yeah, because they insulted his mother and, they told him jump with us and he had both his knees broken. But Steve, when you're a professional athlete in these situations, do you react that way? Just grabbing your crotch and looking at them?
He showed his youth, and I think he had a fantastic game. I was a little bit disappointed in his substitution. I didn't think he deserved to be removed from the game because as soon as they removed Zaniolo from the game, I don't think Roma really created anything else after that.
Still entertaining game, right?
Entertaining, but again, very sad in terms of that. We watched this fantastic game between 2 arch rivals, and then the only thing that we can talk about is him grabbing his balls.
He's young. He's going to learn, right?
Speaking about grabbing his balls,
hopefully Zaniolo is using the MWP code. Great segue, Steve. Great segue. Because, Steve, you've heard that Manscaped, you see this little thing here, Steve? Manscaped, with the MWP code, not only they give you 20% off, Steve, almost worldwide shipping. I learned that this week. You want to be shipped to Australia? Maybe we should send a kit to Sonny. Sonny's got the long hair. He's a rock star. He probably doesn't Manscape. And, maybe he wants to get the cologne. He wants to, take out the girlfriend, to celebrate his new art.
He's going to get attacked by a kangaroo or something.
He might get attacked by the kangaroo. Yeah, but when he gets attacked by the kangaroo, Steve, he takes the reviver. Actually, no, there's hold on. He's got to revive his balls, and then he's got to preserve them because the kangaroos, but guys, all kidding aside, would it be this fantastic thing that came in very handy at the beach, Steve? You're there at the beach, you're cleaning your nose. The Weed Whacker, the Manscaped Trimmer 4.0, guys, it's just fantastic stuff. MWP, manscaped.com.
That's what he was telling everybody. That's what Zaniolo was telling everybody. He was grabbing his balls and he was saying, MWP, 20% off.
You see what you guys are missing. So yeah, check them out, guys, and check out for where you're from because supposedly they are shipping almost worldwide. Salernitana Sassuolo, Steve. I'm not sure you want to be talking about that one or
I didn't have
on
a
to the
chance to
next
watch that one.
on to the next slide. And what do we have here? So Stevie P, Juventus Sampdoria. I think the score does not. I don't know. It. Do you find it does it justice with the
No,
3-2
Juve
or
didn't look good. Juve still doesn't look good. Now they have Dybala problem injury. They have Morata problem injury. I told you they're gonna throw names at a board to face Chelsea. They'll probably get a result because that's how lucky and how full of shit Juventus is. And is gonna try to wash everything away. But this is their major problem. They can't keep a clean sheet.
it's they said somebody put up a stat, Steve. I don't know if you saw. I think it's like 27 games in a row that they haven't had a clean sheet or something like that. They've allowed a goal in 27 straight games.
Yeah, and this is not the Juventus that people are used to. So, Sampdoria put up a big fight, and again, we're unlucky because I think they could have even tied it at the end.
Sampdoria when he scored, what's his name? Ex Inter,
Candreva.
Candreva. There was still a good 12 minutes onto to the clock, and I think what's been happening to Juve, Steve, is that people are not going to play Juventus whether they go there or they come. They're not afraid anymore, and I think they have the same effect as Milan. When the opposing teams are starting to notice that this is not Il Grande Milan that we're used to, and they came in not scared. Do you find that maybe the other teams are starting to have this effect against Juve?
No, we talked about that when Milan went and play. When Milan played Juve, that Milan gave them way too much respect in the beginning and let them dictate the play. So now teams are going there and they're learning from the other games because they're watching video and they're saying we're going to J Stadium and we don't care. We're gonna go play for points. We're gonna play to win. We're not gonna play to tie anymore or to lose or to not lose by much. We're going there to win. And you get exciting games like this where in this game here, Juventus was able to pull it off, but it could have went and they could have dropped points again.
They could have very easily, and they ain't sacking Allegri, guys. I seriously doubt it. But Dybala fatta di carte, Steve. Again, came off injured, and anyways,
There's something wrong with that young guy, and it's too bad because I think
he's
he's very talented. A lot of
Yes.
Juventini don't like him and don't think that he should wear number 10. I disagree. I think he's very talented. I think he was not unfairly pushed aside when Ronaldo came, but kind of like he was there before and they couldn't find a way to have Dybala and Ronaldo play at the same time, let alone that Dybala gets injured every 2 games. So it was going to be a hard feat. But it's tough. And I think he's a good player. And I think they have another great player, Chiesa, on that team. And they have some kind of restructuring to do, which is going to be tough because they're in a state of mind where no one wants their players and they're way too expensive.
If you guys have a chance, go look at the Lioto goal. See, Steve, did you see their latest video when they're doing the voiceover of Allegri and La Salvezza? It's so funny, guys. Check them out. Lioto goal. Udinese, Fiorentina. Fiorentina came up with the 3 points in that one, Steve. I just saw a couple of highlights, but Fiorentina, was it more like Udinese, or they're not the team that that we've grown to watch in the last maybe prior 5 to 10 years before now? But I don't know. Is it just always the same wash and repeat for Udinese? They haven't. How many points do they have, guys? Udinese, I don't even know.
Udinese is lesser, a lesser opponent that they were last year. I think losing the Paul, who we'll see probably tomorrow, hurt them, and they haven't been able to do the Udinese thing, is replace them with someone that we've never heard of before, and continue rolling and continue staying and busting balls.
Udinese is 7 points.
7 points.
What does he own, Steve? Again, doesn't he own 3 teams? Is it Pozzo? What's his Udinese? What team in Spain? I'm sure
Udinese, a team in Spain, and I think he owns Watford.
Watford. That's as in Malaga. Anyways, Genoa Verona, Steve. At one point, I'm looking. Okay, it's 2-0. All of a sudden, I turn back again, 3-3. Another 6-goal thriller here. Genoa against Verona. These were nice extended highlights to watch, but
Yeah,
hey, Serie A is boring, right, Steve? Boring.
this was my stand-up game. I watched this standing up, walking around, doing some stuff, and it was like it was a very entertaining game. Genoa and Verona going at it head to head. Couldn't ask for more. Really excited. I think if there's no Roman derby, this was the most exciting game of the season.
Now, Inter Atalanta, we had penalties. We had a great game back and forth. Atalanta going up. Steve, in the end, drop points for Inter or drop points for Atalanta? Or the right result?
Drop points for both of them. I found it was again another exciting game, another one for a neutral, a very exciting game. A lot of stuff going on. If you're a neutral and you're on text message with buddies that go for other teams, fantastic, amazing to just push buttons
Texting
on
Francis.
this one. Yeah, and he was with his Inter club, but I don't remember which bar they were at. They were somewhere here in Montreal watching this game, and it ended up 2-2. I can't understand Lautaro Martinez. I'm talking about him because he's another person that I have in my Fanta Calcio. He gets on the board and then disappears. It's like he checks off a box. He's like, okay, I scored. I don't have anything to do in this game anymore. I'm going to take the rest of the day off. It's like there's another 90 minutes that you need to play, right? I think both teams, showed that they wanted to win the game. I don't think anybody was playing for a tie in this game. I just think 2-2 was fair, and it was a good tie. I don't think there was a penalty at the end. I think it was the right call that there was no penalty.
And Steve, question on Spezia Milan. What was Perisic doing in the stands?
I have no idea. This is very bizarre.
It's like I don't get it. Everybody's like, well, what is Perisic? At one point, I thought I was in the twilight zone because I'm like, is he still playing with Inter? Is he like uno svincolato? And so I still have no idea what he was doing there. Just sitting by himself. Maybe I don't know, scouting, Steve.
Yeah, Jamie, I have no idea what Perisic. Perisic is lost. He probably thought he was going to watch Inter, or he was drunk from the night before. We don't know. But Jamie brings up a good point. In that Inter game, I don't understand how DeMarco is the one who decides that he's going to take that penalty shot. It's beyond me. Like you have tons of talent there. You have Dzeko that has more goals in one season, in one half season than DeMarco has his whole life. And I don't get it.
Please make sure that Francis watches the Derby West. We need we love to push his buttons as he loves to push our buttons. Stevie P, let's go to Patreon questions. So starting off with Gillis, who's been more impressive so far, Diaz or Tonali? Also, is there any way to get Kalulu more time? Maybe a right wing. The kid has a ton of talent. Fingers crossed for tomorrow. Forza Milan. Steve, who's been more impressive, Diaz or Tonali?
I have to go. As much as I love Tonali and I like the way he plays, I think right now, just because of production and what he's been doing, it's a little bit easier to say Diaz.
Because Tonali, I think we always had that expectation of him. It didn't come last year. Now it's like he's playing to a level that we've wanted him to do. Diaz, I'm going to have to agree with you because Diaz, I wasn't expecting him to be this impactful. Has he been on the team so far? How many also did any way to get Kalulu more time? Put him into a right wing. I'm sure he could play it, but right now I don't think anything should be rushed. And Pioli we trust, but would you see Kalulu as a right wing?
I think Kalulu plays almost looks like that jolly player. You can play him pretty much everywhere. It's like when we had
Fabio Borini.
Not even Borini, but when we had all those injuries last year, we were trying to put Leao everywhere. And, at a certain point, you have to say, like, when am I doing him a favor or when am I doing him a disservice? Where I'm playing him so many places where you saw Leao, he's still lost today. Much less than last year, but he still lost today. But if you notice the difference, last year is one game you're playing striker, one game you're playing left wing, one game you're playing striker, one game you're playing left wing. Now, I know some people are going to say, "Oh, you know what? He's a professional. He should play." I agree. But some people, that's not for him.
Maybe
That's
the right
not
wing.
for
I
him.
think the right wing could be because I believe he's played the right wing, maybe not for the national team or a wing back, but who knows? But no rushing. I definitely I'm with you on that
They
one.
don't
There's no
have
rush.
unless
Have a
we have
choice.
to. I wouldn't
Didn't
try
we
that.
put Calabria in midfield last year? Was it
Yes,
2 years
against
ago?
Juve.
Against Juve. Derek saying Ibra continues to be out. Do you think it is imperative that Milan get a striker in January? And do you move Kessie in January if contract cannot be agreed to? So do you think it's imperative for Milan to get a striker in January? All depending
Yes,
how Pellegrini, you get somebody else, Steve?
there needs to be someone else.
Just in case? Because you can't go with Giroud and Pellegrini. You need somebody.
We have no. At a certain point, teams are going to figure us out, and at a certain point, our strikers need to score goals.
And
The thing with Zlatan is we have to remember he's going to be 40. Giroud is also old,
he's 34,
still not a young pup.
Yeah.
And Pellegrini, we want him to learn from these guys. You can't put that pressure on a kid like that.
Especially if Ibra's out, you can't just go Giroud and Pellegrini.
So they're gonna have to find. I was surprised that they didn't go for someone a little bit more experienced than Pellegrini in this. In between Giroud and Pellegrini, they went like the complete realm. A seasoned veteran and someone who hasn't played for quite a bit of time. I think they need someone else. I wouldn't gamble. I would not gamble this year. If you want to win and you want to compete and you're in it for the Scudetto, I would not gamble.
And Kessie, the question is, obviously if the negotiations are not there, but how much would he go for, Steve? If he's got 6 months left, the other team has to sign him. Are we even getting 15? 10, 15? Not even that, right?
Very lucky. Very lucky. The answer to that question is yes. You have no choice. At this point, we have no choice because we cannot continue to lose players for nothing. It doesn't look like we have a very good track record when it comes to negotiating. We end up always at the short end of the stick, and there's always the English Premier League that's going to come along, and they're going to just destroy whatever offer you have for that player if they really want him. And if they really want him, then that's when you have to force them to give you at least something like to be anywhere between 10 and 15. But who says that someone's going to pay 10 to 15 when they know that if they stay low for 6 months, they're going to get him for free?
Or you go for the money and to do a life choice, and now you're not happy where you are and you want to move back to Italy. Well, that's a conversation for another time. Kim Barini saying, should we even try Theo as an attacking winger for a game if we're going to rest some players? For example, what Tottenham did with Bale when he was a left back. We've discussed this before, but Steve, a lot of the criticism we've given Theo is more on the defensive. Am I wrong saying that? Would you even try it if you have no choice?
You can, but right now, again, if it's not broken, don't fix it. I'm not switching formation. I'm not trying to experiment things. No.
Don't.
He's the left back. He's the left back. He's got to learn. If he wants to be the best left back in the world, he's got a lot of work to do on the defensive side.
Vincenzo Mangini, ciao a tutti. Vinny, Steve, keep the fire coming. During our first Champions League outing versus Liverpool, Milan were forced to adapt to a very high tempo that we're very clearly uncomfortable with. How does Padre Pioli get this young squad adapted to this level tempo of play? Do you think Milan will be better prepared against a very well-coached Atletico, especially playing in front of the home crowd? I think, saying that high tempo, I think that goal that came, Steve, 4 minutes in? No, was it 8 minutes in? I believe the goal against Liverpool. I think it was getting those 2 quick goals and just settling down. I think those jitters have been broken. Now the jitters are playing in front of your home fans for the first time in, what has it been, 8 years? For just 7 years in Champions League? What do you say to Vince's question?
I think there's no magic recipe to deal with that tempo. Whether I like to admit it or not, that team is stacked. The Liverpool team is stacked. They were going to run at us and press us from everywhere. They're also very well coached. for us to control, we need to control the tempo. Milan needs to dictate tempo. When Milan dictates the tempo, Milan is successful. When
And
teams come at Milan and they start to press Milan and they start to
we'll get in
make Milan
shambles.
uncomfortable, that's when our players make mistakes, which is of course going to happen to any good team. No, there's no perfect team out there, but our mistakes usually end up in starting off slow against Liverpool and letting in a goal, which changed everything. Which you saw the complete opposite of that. You saw the good of a team that's growing, where they were able to get back, undeservedly so, but they got back
They
into
got
the
back,
game.
exactly.
Let's give them that a bit. But to his answer, I don't think
There's any, like you're
there's too
saying,
much of a gap. There's too much of a gap between these monster teams that are stacked with teams like Milan, where once you make them uncomfortable and they make mistakes, the ball usually ends up in the back of the net.
but the ball is round, right, Steve?
Yeah,
So
you have to play.
let's keep those fingers crossed. Paulie saying, good evening, Vinny and Steve. How impressed have you both been with Leao in the opening games? Yes, he has not finished the article, but he does appear to boast bundles of talent, and we are starting to see glimpses in games. How much can he grow in this young Milan squad? Future Ballon d'Or, as always, Forza Milan. And, we touched a little bit base on this one, and I know that you're still on the other side on Leao because you've seen good, but from this good that you've seen, other than body language, and I go back to that. I love Pioli just looking at the smile.
Yeah.
And I think Gazette had said that if that goal would have went in, the one that he hit the post, he would have had like a 9 rating. Other than his body language, Steve, is his maturity? What do you think it is?
I think again, I spoke about it a little bit earlier. I think continuity at where he's playing. He wants to play left wing. He's playing left wing. He's learning the position of left wing. It's going to be 3 years now in Serie A, which is very tough. And I think he's learning, that there's players out there, they know how to defend. You can do all the tricks, and you can end up on YouTube and all the compilations that you want. They're going to stop you. And he's learning also that giving the ball away quicker and not knowing when to show a little bit of that talent and a little bit of that fantasia is good. But the best thing as a winger and as a young player is get the ball into dangerous positions, and I think that's what he's been doing much
that
better
vision,
than
right?
last
He sees
year.
that gap, that gapping hole, and he just with his speed. So no, definitely, hopefully, better things to come because we've been waiting. And Mark saying, ignoring fitness and need to rest, what is Milan's best double pivot combo for a match that your life depended on? Who do you go with, Steve?
Right now or forever?
Ignore fitness, need for rest. It's got to be for right now. So basically, from our midfielders, who would be, let's say the team is on fire right now. We're full points. We won our last game against Liverpool. Everybody's healthy, Steve. You want to put 3 points in the Champions League, go up to 6. Who do you put in double pivot?
But I don't get the question. Do I have to
the best pairing?
How they've played since the beginning to now?
Everybody. Okay, let's go with. Yeah, you got to go with that.
Well, that's why I don't get it. I see Tonali.
Mark is in the comments. Mark, are you in the comments? If you're in the comments, maybe you want to specify. So
very
ignoring
hard.
fitness
If
and
you're
need for rest.
if I'm ignoring fitness and I'm ignoring need to rest, the best pairing is Kessie and Benacer. They're the pairing that has the most. They're the most familiar with one another. They're the pairing that got us to the Champions League. They're the pairing that got us to second place. Yeah. If we're ignoring fitness and we're ignoring time of rest that they need, yes.
Yeah.
If we're going by how they've played from the beginning of the year till now, I think the best pairing is still, and we're again. I'm gonna include someone that was injured. I think the best pairing would be Kessie and Tonali. I don't think Benacer has been great.
1.5 good games, yeah, but for continuity,
But again,
we can
is
factor
he
in form.
injured? Is he still injured? Is he still?
Mark's saying we can factor in form, but just wanted to ignore fitness and and rest. I think those are pretty good answers, Stevie P.
So,
Uh,
yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
I hope that answers Mark.
Let's go to Twitter. What do we have? Stevie P on Twitter? Just a couple of questions. And we're saying, I think we need to reconsider Ibra's contract as he will be out most of the season. Don't you agree? Mahmoud, I wish we could renegotiate, but that's the money that he's going to make for next year. And he's probably going to end up as a coach, right, Steve? Most probably. He said he wanted to stay at Milan.
I don't think he's ending up as a coach.
No? As a what? Nothing scout, diretor. He's going to go back to Sweden.
No, I don't know what he'll do. It's going to be tough. He's gonna want to stay ambassador or something. He's not taking Maldini's job right now.
No,
I don't think he wants that job.
Watch him play another season. Watch him play.
Maybe
give me $1 million and I'll play.
Maybe, but again, we have to move on from this. This is something that we can't make the same mistake that we did the last time with all the other senatori. This senatori here is showing that he's starting to break down a little bit. And I'm worried about the knee and Achilles. I'm worried about the Achilles. Again, now he's not going to be available for Atletico. When is he going to be available? Is it worse than it was initially diagnosed? I don't know. So,
and we have one from. This is a throwaway. What do you guys think of soccer betting? Asked Vinny and Steve. So I've already said in the past I used to gamble a lot. I'll always be a gambler. I haven't gambled in 6-7 years now. So for me, soccer gambling, I wish when we see guys in the member group, Steve, that they're betting that $1, they're enjoying themselves. They have that. I wish that people could be able to gamble like that at $5 at a time. But I stay away from gambling. Steve, I don't even think what do you do? Maybe Super Bowl or even soccer, the Euros? Did you do or
no? I gamble. I find it tough. I think now a lot of the betting books are letting you do the humongous parlays, 18 parlays. You could put $2 and win 650,000. So that's pretty fun. I think if you can mix and match the leagues, you have an even better bet. There's some props that are pretty cool, like first half props on corner kicks, the goals and how many cards. Those are pretty cool. Again, gamble responsibly, but I enjoy it. I don't gamble very often, but when I do, I'm not a big time gambler. But I like. If I would have to go in order of gambling, I think let's say football's number one. Then it's really hard, Then
I live vicariously. I live vicariously through you, Steve. I get excited through you there, but
football is very easy to gamble. There's just a lot of options. There's survivor pools. There's fantasy football, Fanta Calcio in Italy and in Serie A and in the Premier League. I think they're missing the boat with that. I think if they find a better way to a better point system, I think they can make tons of money with Fanta Calcio and leagues. I think they're missing the boat on that. But look, regular, hardcore, straight up gambling for soccer, I think it's fun.
And to Jamie, how bad was it? It's pretty bad because I had no self-control. If you can do like many people that have that self-control, when I'm betting third division Polish league soccer, or I think one time I even bet at a cricket game. I don't even know how the game of cricket is being played. So it's embarrassing, but no, that's why I stay away. Stevie P, maybe a Brioshki or actually there was somebody that posted Tesfalem, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. The salaries, Milan player salaries. Did you take a look at this, Steve? Were you surprised or if I, you know what? Let me try to put it up on screen. I'm not sure it's gonna.
Look, was I surprised? No, I just I have a question for. I think it was
Calcio Milan Post, through Calcio Finanza. Yeah,
I don't know. Everybody else looks, their net and their gross salary almost looks like it's doubled.
Let me see if I can pull it out, Steve. Yeah, go ahead.
But Ibra makes 7 million net and 9 gross. I didn't understand that. I would have thought that he made 14 gross. But who
So,
am I to say?
so yeah, if you guys see there, so we have Ibrahimovic. Let me see if I could zoom it in. Can you see it better now?
Yeah.
So you let me just take out this thing here. So yeah, no, we kept on always hearing these different types of stuff, right, Steve? Lordo 9.17, Romagnoli, Rebic, Giroud all day 3.5. How about the lower end, Steve? Were you surprised about these salaries?
Diaz. What a
What a pickup! Huh?
that's a home run. A home run, and that's just seeing that, I was like, wow, this guy's gonna. So if you look at the lower end, you're looking at Leao raise, Tonali raise, Kajar maybe yes, maybe no, just with his age.
Hmm. It's just
And you're gonna see Brian Diaz who's gonna want to raise, right? So just
that's
there,
why it's
there's
the 2-year loan that
Yeah.
we have. Stevie P, how about do you have an indigestion of the week? Anything that came and grinded your gears?
Yeah, we talked about it, and I left it for the end. Stupid Roma Lazio game where it was a fantastic, showcase of Serie A, and the only thing we're talking about is stupidity. I'm gonna call out DAZN and Parolo, who's a pundit, ex Laziale, now with DAZN. He decides that it's gonna be okay to celebrate with Lucas Leiva.
Yeah, I saw that. That wasn't very professional. I know
So
Lucas went up to him, but he didn't do anything to okay, get off of me. It's not like very professional. And
yeah, like you gotta know where you are, and I know I don't want anybody to lose their job, but I don't blame Mourinho for saying for giving him the little jab, like that can't happen. And you don't see that. You don't see, Michael Owen, or you don't see in the Premiership, Michael Owen's not going to run when Liverpool wins and say, "Hey,
I don't know. It's
hey,
only
I'm
been
going to
a year.
celebrate."
Is
Yeah,
it
and it's not even a long that Parolo's out of the game. Then
6
you
months?
have
He played last year, did he not?
yeah, he
Parolo?
played
Yeah.
last year. Then you have Mourinho and the whole thing that they can't get together with what are the laws of who talks to the media, who doesn't talk to the media.
He got pissed
Lazio,
off.
they have to enter in the questions before. Roma, no, I want to talk to it. So that's in the news. And then we put the cherry on the cake where Zaniolo, who I think is a superstar talent, I think very unlucky to be to have those two terrible injuries. Even with those terrible injuries, you saw against Lazio, he put on a fantastic performance. To go ruin yourself, and the only thing that people are going to remember is not your performance. They're going to remember you grabbing your balls because you can't take a couple of insults from the fans who are just as stupid, who are probably saying just terrible things to you. I could just imagine for him to lose like that, but you gotta remain focused. I know that there's a fine line. I know that sometimes fans can cross that fine line, but he was gone. You're out of the game. Walk away. Be the person to walk away with your head held high,
And don't stoop
and
yourself
you
to that
win in
level.
the end. And you win. So not only did you lose the game, you lost some credibility, you lost a bit of respect, and you look like an idiot. And you make the league look like an idiot. And he's probably gonna get suspended.
Yeah.
So imagine.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
And that brings me again to my double indigestion is that
Okay, go
the
ahead.
league will suspend Zaniolo for grabbing his balls. Right?
For an indecent gesture.
Yeah. So Zaniolo, who brings value to the league, value to Roma, will get suspended for doing something like that.
A fine,
I don't
probably
mind.
a fine. Maybe
Suspended or fine, whatever. Right?
Hmm.
But then the same league will not do anything when two guys are standing in front of Milan's keeper saying all kinds of racial stupidity and dumb,
Why are you taking away? You're taking away
stupid things.
my thunder, Steve. You're taking away my thunder.
Yeah, but it was a whole thing. I had this all
Okay,
prepared.
go ahead. Go ahead.
They're saying disgusting things to this guy. They're putting it on camera, which I said last week that what did I say, Vin? They're gonna get caught. And of course, they did get caught. And their excuse is that they were drunk.
But that's the thing, Steve. They came out and said, the guy specifically, I was really drunk. I don't know what I was doing. First of all, I don't even know why you said that, because you just basically said I am a true
I admitted
racist.
it. Yeah.
And then Juventus, and that was my thing. So Juventus, from that camera angle, how is the press getting to talk to these people? You should have caught them instantly, not 3 days after coming out with a communique. Juventus has suspended this person forever and this and that. Why did it take so long? You're telling me, Steven, this technology that we are right now, with all the cameras around, they could have not known where they are? And
They
even
could
this
find
guy.
them if they want to find them.
Exactly. No, that was my, that was just ridiculous. And it's great from the gesture of Juventus, but I just found that it took way too long. That if it wasn't Mike, what do you call him? Mike Mangione. If it wasn't for him, for that whole long post, would they have done anything?
It's very sad. It's actually embarrassing. It's really embarrassing because it continues, and no one wants to stop it, and no one wants to, I know we hate talking about it and that's why we left it for the end. So if you make it to the end, it just continues, Vinny. It continues, and the league goes down, and the league looks dumber, and the league looks so archaic. That do we blame anybody that they don't want to pay top dollar for TV rights? I'm getting to the point that I don't.
You got a point. If you're not marketable,
And
we
they
can't
can do
come
everything. They're doing some good moves.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say one, congratulations to IFTV. They
Yeah, I
now
saw.
content partners with Serie A. That's a great move.
Yeah.
But stop the racism in your stadiums.
This is coming from, what was it, Steve, that billboard, remember? Was it 3-4 years ago with the three
monkeys.
monkeys
Yeah,
for against
it's
racism?
ridiculous. It's superb.
And honorable mentions to Tio and Zanaiolo for the diving. Steve, how about a brioche? Anything feel good? Because I give mine before you steal my, like, guys, by the way, we don't talk to each other. We don't even prepare the show. But no, go ahead and give your brioche of the week.
Your brioche is probably going to be Maldini celebrating his son's goal.
No.
Okay, so I'll take that one. As a father,
yes, we're better off.
I would
talking.
be really, really dumb if that would not be my brioche, and I didn't feel really, really happy for him. I know that he's not your typical father. He's the greatest player, the greatest Milan player ever. Seeing his son score his first goal in his first start, that was really special. Like, I'm pretty sure that's worth the weight of his paycheck plus more.
I'm gonna have to go with Calabria, Steve. Pulling the shirt down. Oh my God, on Diaz. What are you doing? You're not getting a yellow card. And then I think he even posted saying, no, I wasn't gonna let him get a yellow card on that one. That was funny.
But was
like
that
like
a true captain? But was that like, I know that Diaz wasn't on a card, so it wasn't because he was gonna get a red. But
no,
was it gonna be because he was gonna get a yellow? I think he just maybe get him suspended, or just really you're not getting a card for this. That's
I think it was just you're not getting a card for this one here. But it just reminded me, like, you would expect that from Kajar, like the elderly and the team. And here he is, Calabria, and just doing that. That made me smile. Stevie P, hopefully we smile tomorrow. Game at 3:00. I know you got kids to pick up at 4:30. You're gonna be watching maybe on the mobile when you gotta leave. I'm gonna be watching over here. Guys on the ZN for the game. And sorry, I even forgot to mention, Steve, I don't know if you saw it on Facebook, a belated happy birthday to Signore Giuseppe Teresi, one of the founding members of the Milan Club Montreal. Giuseppe, happy birthday. Happy birthday. And anything in closing, Stevie P?
Guys, get your Milan Club memberships, guys. Get your Milan Club memberships.
Next Sunday, we will be there, please, guys.
Yeah. It's time, guys. You love Milan, you live in Montreal, Laval, anywhere close to us, even if you live around the world. You want to be a member of Milan Club Montreal, now's the time to join. Great specials, great discounts with sponsors. Evangelista just got the new zip up, getting ready for that one, and a whole bunch of Milan merchandise. You get club discount there, club discount at
We got
Dairy
all kinds
Queen.
of partners. The Dairy Queen when you go to Chicharo's and it's not
It's
game
a very
time.
simple calculation, guys. Very simple calculation.
And all the other things. Steve, can I ask you something? Because we're gonna give away an authentic kit on November 7th, right? Now let me ask you, if Presidente has this in his room where he puts usually his cologne, what would this jersey smell like?
Pino Silvestri.
I was gonna go with the Paco Rabanne. Remember the Paco
Or
Rabanne back in the
Freccia Azzurra. Freccia Azzurra. He doesn't wear cologne. He has Freccia Azzurra.
Jesus Christ. Guys, ovunque e sempre.
Forza
Milan.
Milan!
Ciao.
The champions!